कोनो सखी नहीं, गुरु कृपा बोलो कृष्णा। अतच एने जो प्रभु कथा बोली भरे, जे तुम्हार इच्छा प्रभु करो ए भरे, गुरु कृपा बोलो कृष्णा। अखिल जगत गुरु वचन से अमार, अलंकृत कोरी बार क्षमता तुम्हार, गुरु कृपा बोलो कृष्णा। तब कृपा हले मोर सदा शुद्ध हवे, सुनिया सबर शोक दुख जे गुचिबे, गुरु कृष्णा खुले कृष्णा। अनिया जो जड़ी प्रभु हमारे नाचते, नाचो नाचो प्रभु नाचो ओ से मते, कश तेर पुटाली जत नाचो से मते, नाचो 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 से मते, बोलो कृपा बोलो कृष्णा। भक्ति नाई वेद नाई नामे खूब धरो, भक्ति नाई वेद नाई नामे खूब धरो, भक्ति वेदांत नाम एवे सात करो, भक्ति वेदांत नाम एवे सात करो, गुरु कृपा कोइले कृष्णा मेरा गति, गुरु कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा मेरा गति, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे नाम संकीर्तन कीजिए। थैंक यू माता जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। सॉरी फॉर एनी मिस्टेक्स, आई एम स्टिल लर्निंग।
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This song, this bhajan is written by Srila Prabhupada when he was in Jaladut, and very, very beautiful lyrics. I would request all of you, those who have not sung this bhajan or not seen the lyrics, please go and check the lyrics and check the meaning of these lyrics. It's a very beautiful bhajan. We can actually understand what was Srila Prabhupada's mood when he was going to US. So, still Prabhu hasn't joined. Someone would like to do Kirtan for 2-3 minutes? By the time I'll just check. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mataji, Bhakti Sangha Japa group. Oh, you are.
Anita Tanya.
Okay. Yeah, please, Mataji.
Change my name.
Yeah, please, Mataji.
So, is it okay to recite Bhagavad Gita chapter 12?
Chapter 12.
Yeah. Kartik month we need to recite.
Yeah, it's okay, Mataji, but can we do Kirtan for some time? Because maybe Prabhu will join in between, Anna? So okay. You can stop also. Because Bhagavad Gita, if we recite, we have to recite all the 20 shlokas. So,
it takes only 3 to 4 minutes, Mataji. If it is okay.
In between, if Prabhu will join now, Mataji, then we have to stop.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
You can sing any Kirtan, Mataji.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just sing Vrindavana Ramyasthana, which is written by Narandas Thakur.
Yeah.
Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Manohara. Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratana Mandira Manohara. Avratam kalinde nere rajahams keli kare tahe shobhe kanaka kamala. तार मध्ये हेमपीठ अष्टदले बेष्टित अष्टदले प्रधान नायिका. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji has joined Mataji.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Anita Mataji. Today your name is different, so I got confused. Okay, yeah. Haribol, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So Hare Krishna to all the devotees. So today we welcome His Holiness, His Grace, Achyut Gopal Prabhu. Before Prabhu will start, I would just like to give a small introduction about Prabhu, and then Prabhu will take us to the nectarian session of Shrimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhu was born in the holy town of Kanchipuram, and in a very spiritual Sri Vaishnava family. Prabhu has completed his BE in Electronics and Telecommunications from Goa College of Engineering. He worked also as a lecturer in government college for a few years before deciding to dedicate his life as a monk in ISKCON in 2006. Since then, Prabhu has actively been a part of ISKCON Goa, and right from its initial stage to the present day, full-fledged movement with centers of all across Goa. Prabhu also has pioneered some of the most successful outreach programs, and some of those programs are there in our list. So Gita Champions League, it is actually an initiative to connect the school children to the wisdom of Gita through a medium of a fun contest. Till date, more than 12,000 children from across 120 schools, all over Goa benefited from this program. Then there is another initiative, which is Children's Sunday School. Prabhu has pioneered a weekly Sunday program for urban school children to inculcate right values and culture in them. And right now, there is a wing of children program in every major city of Goa. So Prabhu has, right now, he is the general manager of ISKCON Panjim and overseeing the preaching activities of Panjim and the areas around Panjim. Prabhu has also authored 2 books, which is Happiness Revolution through Consciousness Evolution and Japa Meditations. Then Prabhu also loves to study scriptures and apply it in his life in a very systematic and scientific way, and make it very easily understandable or digestible to the modern day public, modern day people. And a very nice example of this is that how Prabhu is following the instructions of these scriptures is that Prabhu is going through from the acute throat issues from last, I think, 8 years, but yet Prabhu is preaching. He never stopped preaching and continuing preaching. So on this note, I invite Prabhu to enlighten us with the message of Shrimad Bhagavatam, and very warm welcome to you, Prabhu, on ICF Forum. Hare Krishna. Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, very grateful to Ashish Kumar Prabhu and Narayani Mataji for having me over. So, very happy to be part of this group. I didn't expect so many devotees to be here. It's really a big number, 9:30 in the morning, so many devotees. It really shows how sincere and eager you all are to understand the message of Gita and Bhagavatam. So I'm very, very grateful and honored to be part of this session. So before we begin, let's offer our Mangalacharan and then start today's session. Om Agyanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaha Padakamalam श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवृषभानुनवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्दये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत द्वंत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबा रसाम्बोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते गौरविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्देश स जनप्रिया वैष्णवा सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिष्वे नमः पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशतिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सरतोर्पङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्या वृंदावन्य कल्पद्रुमदो श्रीमादत्तागरासिमासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा शिल गोविंद देवो प्रेष्टालभि सेव्यो मानो स्मरामि श्रीमादासरसारम्भि वंशीवट तटस्थिता कर्षन्वेणुर्स्वनिर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथाय श्रियेस्तु नः सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So today we are discussing third canto, chapter 10, verse number 6 to 10. So before I get into verse number 6 onwards, so this chapter is entitled The Divisions of Creation. So this chapter begins with Vidura asking a question to Maitreya Rishi. So basically the third canto is the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya Rishi. So Vidura is asking this question, my dear Maitreya Rishi, after Lord Brahma met the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the previous chapter, chapter 9, describes the prayers of Lord Brahma towards the Supreme Lord and how the Lord empowers Lord Brahma and tells him, please carry on the service, my blessings are with you. So this chapter, chapter 10, begins with Vidura's question. After Lord Brahma got the mercy of the Lord and after the Lord disappeared, how did Lord Brahma begin his creation of different bodies and the minds of different people? So when Maitreya Rishi hears this question, Maitreya Rishi is actually so very pleased with this question. So here we see in Bhagavatam, whether it is the example of Vidura, whether it is the example of Parikshit Maharaj, even though these are great personalities, Vidura is considered to be the pillow of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna had great love for Vidurji. And you have the example of Parikshit Maharaj, who saw Lord Krishna within his womb, a very great devotee of the Lord. But both of them are eager to hear even about the creation aspect. So many times as devotees, especially when it comes to the third canto, second canto, these cantos get very technical, right? And we feel, is it so important to understand all this? Ultimately, Prabhupada said, chanting Hare Krishna is the essence. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. 99% advancement depends on chanting. So what is the need to understand all these things? But these things are very important, because if you love Krishna, then anything that is connected to Krishna, you should be able to love it, right? So Krishna created this world. So it's important for us to understand this material world also, how, in a detailed fashion, how the Lord created this. And especially Brahmaji's this pastime where Brahmaji is going through his own doubts, his own confusions, and then finally how by the mercy of the Lord he creates. So all of us in our own life have sevas to do, like Brahmaji has the seva of creation. So the example of Brahmaji in our parampara, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya parampara, Brahmaji is the first guru. So therefore, to study the example of this guru is very important for us to understand how Brahmaji did such great service in a very humble mood, and ultimately by the mercy of the Lord. So Vidura begins this chapter by asking this question to Maitreya, and he tells Maitreya Rishi, please clarify all my doubts from the beginning till the end. So here we see Bhagavatam basically has different conversations going on parallelly. The first, we know from the first canto of Bhagavatam, it is Sutta Goswami speaking with the sages of Naimisharanya. And Sutta Goswami relates the conversation between Shukdev and Parikshit. So then from second canto on, Shukdev Parikshit's conversation starts. So when Parikshit Maharaj has questions to Shukdev Goswami quotes another conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. So just like, you have windows, one door inside another. So like that. So sometimes on this window comes up, that window comes up, but ultimately these are all conversations. And through this also, one common theme that we will understand is every great soul who's asked a question, he refers to another great conversation. That's how Bhagavatam is actually. So when Narad Muni is going and asking Brahmaji questions, Brahmaji is answering Narad Muni the answers that he has got from the Lord. So this is the Bhagavatam process, the parampara process, where you don't create your own idea of dharma. You repeat what has already been spoken. So one time someone told Srila Prabhupada, your commentaries are exactly that like of Madhvacharya, almost same in line with Madhvacharya, almost like a copy of it. So Prabhupada said, that's a credit to me. If you can repeat the acharyas as it is, that is actually the biggest credit. So here the conversation continues ahead. Maitreya Rishi, being very pleased with Vidura's question, Maitreya answers that Brahmaji, after receiving darshan of the Lord, Brahmaji again performed tapasya for 100 celestial years and applied himself to devotional service. And as he applied himself to devotional service, Brahmaji was thinking, he's seated on this lotus flower, and suddenly there are these violent winds that move the lotus flower. So Prabhupada explains in the purport, this is the 5th verse. We are going to start from 6th verse, but I'm just doing like a quick recap. So Prabhupada explains in the purport that this material world is a place of forgetfulness. It is a place where there is struggle for existence. Manasastani indriyani prakriti stani karshati. So this is a tug of war between a living entity who wants to serve Krishna. So Brahmaji, he's got darshan of Krishna. He wants to serve Krishna, but still doing that service is not easy. Being in the material world is not an easy place. And Prabhupada explains here, even devotees with good intentions, because of the power of illusion, they can succumb and they can fall down. So this is a tug of war going on between a devotee who is trying to aspire for Krishna Bhakti and his struggle against Maya. Therefore, Krishna in the Gita, he tells, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamevaya Prapadyante Maya Etam Tarantite. This material energy, Maya Devi, is very difficult to overcome. Literally impossible to overcome. But one who has surrendered to Krishna, it is possible. So can you imagine the seva, the task, the responsibility Brahmaji had? one single person in this entire creation, and he has to create the entire 14 planets, all the living entities, everything. And he has no idea how he has to do it, right? And he's sitting on this lotus flower, and this lotus flower is like violently shaking, not normally shaking, violently shaking. So Brahmaji sitting on this, he's trying to, be strong in spiritual life. And because he's taken shelter of Krishna, Prabhupada explains, because Brahmaji is strong in devotional service by the mercy of Krishna, he could not be victimized by the material energy. And then Brahmaji, it explains in the next verse, which we will continue from this point. Text 6. Tapasa hi edamanena vidyaya chatmana samstaya vivriddha Vijnana balo nyapad vayum sahambasa. Okay, thank you. So we'll read the word to word also. Tapasa, by penance, he certainly, etamanena, increasing, vidyaya, by transcendental knowledge, cha also, atma, self, samstaya, situated in the self, vivriddha, matured, vijnana, practical knowledge, balaha, power, nyapat, drank, vayum, the wind, saha ambasa, along with the water. Translation is like this: long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization had matured Brahma in practical knowledge, and thus he drank the wind completely along with the water. So here Brahmaji, even though in the beginning he is quite shaken by this whole thing, his entire the lotus stem is shaking, and he's thinking what is going on. So, but Brahmaji had done tapasa. Tapasa he edamanena. For a long time he had done penance. And vidyaya chatmana samstaya. And he had knowledge of self-realization. Not just mere knowledge of self-realization. And because he had these two qualities, tapasya and jnana, with this power, Brahmaji became mature. Vivriddha vijnana balo. He became mature. And with this maturity, Brahmaji, even though he was shaken a bit, he drank the entire wind along with the water of devastation. So here we find the word vivriddha. Yeah, vriddha. Vriddha means basically old. Generally, people have this notion that as the body grows old, one will become more mature. But it is not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. In one sense, yes, life definitely gives experiences, but real maturity comes when there is tapasya and there is vidya. And this vidya doesn't refer to material knowledge. Vidya here refers to vidyaya chatma samstaya. Vidya means knowledge connected to Atma. Srila Prabhupada, when Prabhupada once had gone to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, to give a class there. So after the class, one of the professors took Prabhupada on the tour around the university campus. I mean, so many departments and so many things. Very impressive campus. But Prabhupada was not a person to get impressed. So many departments were shown to Prabhupada. Physics, chemistry, biology, and what not. So Prabhupada said, wonderful, you'll have such a big university, MIT University. But Prabhupada said, where is the department where the knowledge about God, Atma, is taught? So Prabhupada, in a funny way, he said, you have MIT, but where is Almighty in MIT? Right? Where is God in this picture? So you have so many people speaking about so many different knowledge. But real knowledge is Atma Samstaya, knowledge about the soul. Until this basic knowledge is there, knowledge about the soul and God, ultimately it's all just a waste. So Brahmaji had matured because of tapasya and knowledge. And we find in the scriptures many examples of devotees who were not old enough. They were not old. They were young people. But they had matured because of tapasya and knowledge. And knowledge here refers to bhakti. And tapasya here also refers to bhakti tapasya. So Srila Prabhupada in the previous chapters, if you have read properly, whenever the word tapasya has come in relation to Brahmaji performed tapasya, that tapasya is not mere tapasya, but the tapasya is bhakti related tapasya. This month is the month of Kartik, where we all celebrate Yashoda tying Krishna to this grinding mortar. So we all know that Yashoda, she was not a yogi, she was not a jnani. Yashoda was a bhakta. So only through tapasya in connection with bhakti, one can see Krishna and one can tie Krishna. So we have in the scriptures the example of Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami, we all know this pastime that he was in the womb of his mother Satyavati, the son of Vyasdev. He didn't want to come out of the womb only because he knew that as soon as it come out, material world is great, but it's also illusory. So he felt that better I remain in the womb. The womb of a mother is a place of suffering, but Shukdev Goswami felt that this is a better place to be. At least illusion is less here. As soon as Shukdev Goswami was born, with the assurance of Krishna that Maya will not touch you, Shukdev Goswami just walked away from the house. He didn't even wait to cut his birthday cake. He just walked away straight. And as soon as he went, right from birth, imagine what is the position of Shukdev Goswami. He was just born, birthday, just born, walked out of his house, 16-year-old boy, straight went to the assembly where Parikshit Maharaj and all the sages are sitting and went and sat on the Vyasasana. And Shukdev Goswami is a mere 16-year-old boy. And in that assembly, there were great sages who had lived for thousands and thousands of years. All of them stood up in respect for Shukdev Goswami because they knew that Shukdev Goswami is not Vayovriddha. He is not old by age, but he is old by Gyan and Bhakti. So they all had great respect for him. The same pages of the Bhagavatam, the first canto, you have the example of Narad Muni. Narad Muni telling Vyasdev his own life story. So Narad Muni in his previous life was born in a Shudra family, very poor family. So one time, this 4 months of Chaturmas, great souls, Bhakti Vedantas, they came and stayed in their house. And this young boy, 5-year-old boy, Narada, his previous name is also not mentioned. Right? So this boy just served the sages, and whenever they would have katha, he would sit and hear. Right? He just sat and heard their katha. He understood something, he didn't understand something. How much can a 5-year-old boy understand? But he tried his best to understand. He took the remnants of the sages. And by the Lord's arrangement, one day his mother goes out to milk cow. A snake comes and bites her and she dies. So imagine, the Bhagavatam doesn't mention the name of the father of Narada. So probably the father passed away. So his only shelter was the mother. And the mother also passed away, a 5-year-old boy. Can you imagine what it is? But Narada was not affected. He was not bewildered. He took this to be the special mercy of Krishna. And he just left, detached, walked towards the north, got darshan of Krishna, and then got the body of Narada. A 5-year-old boy developing maturity. Why? Because of the power of bhakti. You have the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, in the womb of his mother, he learned the process of bhakti. And then as soon as he came out, Prahlad was so mature. In a school, he would go and give pravachan to students. Right? So powerful, so mature. So many calamities came in his life, but his faith was rock steady. Nothing shook him. So the process of bhakti is so powerful that anyone who follows this, tries to understand this knowledge of bhakti, tries to follow a little tapasya in the process of bhakti, which is not very big. Some little tapasya, if we follow it, definitely maturity will come. Okay? Just like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, in his prayers to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he composes 100 beautiful prayers called Sarvabhauma Shataka. So one of the prayers he says, Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga Shikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradari Kripam Buddhis Yastam Aham Prapadye. So he's offering respects to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he says, my dear Lord, you are that same old Supreme Person of Godhead who has come again. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradari. You have taken the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And why you have come? Vairagya Vidya Nijabhakti Yoga. So Mahaprabhu has come to teach 3 things. Vairagya, renunciation. Vidya, knowledge. And how knowledge and renunciation comes? By Nijabhakti Yoga, by the process of bhakti. So similarly here, Brahmaji, just by the process of tapasya and knowledge, through the process of devotional service, he was so fearless. Bhajo hure mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanar Vindare. You can put yourself in the position of Brahmaji and imagine you're sitting on this lotus flower, right? And no one is there. No one. And around you can just see water. And this is not ordinary, romantic waters. These are the waters of devastation. Huge waters, cyclonic hurricane waters shaking this entire lotus, and this worry that you may just slip and fall down into this water of devastation. So it's a very fearful situation. So this material world is a place, padam padam yad vipadam na tesha. At every step there is danger. But if, like Brahma, we learn to take shelter of Krishna, even in the midst of the greatest danger, in the midst of all the cyclonic storms of Maya and everything, all the allurements, we can remain strong, we can remain fearless. And by this, Brahmaji actually, drank the water of devastation and the wind. So Prabhupada explains here, material scientists for the modern advancement is endeavoring to control Prakriti. They also want to control, like scientists they are trying to develop weapons in which they can control tornadoes and things like that. But Prabhupada explains here, through material science, it's not possible. Such control can be, however, carried out if a soul surrenders to Krishna through loving devotional service. So all this control, Krishna will ultimately give it to the devotees of Krishna who actually have faith in Krishna. Right? So that is what Prabhupada explains here. In the next verse, text 7. Tad vilokya viyadvyapi pushkaram yad adhistitam anena lokan praglinan kalpitasmiti achintayat. So the word to word is like this. Tat vilokya. Yeah. You all can go down to the next verse. Yeah. Tat vilokya. Looking into that. Viyat vyapi. Extensively widespread. Pushkaram, the lotus. Yat, that which. Adhistitam, he was situated. Anena, by this. Lokan, all the planets. Prak Leelan, previously merged in dissolution. Kalpita asmi, I shall create. Iti tas, achintayat, he thought. Translation. Thereafter he saw that the lotus on which he was situated was spread throughout the universe. And he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged in that very lotus. So now Brahmaji, after he drank all that water and that wind that was really disturbing him, Brahmaji was thinking, achintayat, he started to think. And what he started to think, how do I recreate? So this pastime of Brahmaji creating happens every day. So we all know that Brahmaji's day is divided into two parts, 12 hours of the day and 12 hours of the night. So in the night when Brahmaji goes to sleep, there is dissolution that happens. And next day morning, Brahmaji has to recreate the whole process again. He has to start creation again. So for Brahmaji, every day this is a seva. Every day he has to recreate, every day. And every day he starts blank. Right? He has to. So this is also very important. See, Brahmaji, at this point, he's starting his seva. He's seva of creation. But before his seva, Brahmaji is doing his sadhana. He's doing tapasya. So all of us, Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas have given us a process where in the day we do a seva, but the empowerment of seva comes through sadhana. When we chant Hare Krishna, when we follow this morning program and we hear Bhagavatam, and then when we get into service, Krishna will give us knowledge of service. You see, Krishna gave assurance to Brahmaji. You create, I am there with you. But Krishna didn't spoon feed Brahmaji. This step you do this step you do this. No. That spoon feeding will not happen. You have to have faith in Krishna. Right? Krishna tells in the Gita, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayantite. If you're serving Krishna, if you're doing your sadhana well, Tesham satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvakam, with a lot of love and devotion, then dadami buddhi yogam tam. Krishna will give you the intelligence what to do. Krishna will give you that inspiration. So Prabhupada explains in many places, this is actually the mercy of Krishna. When you do bhakti, Krishna will give you that inspiration, what you have to do. That inspirations will come. So the process of bhakti is very dynamic, where we have faith in Krishna, faith in the Guru, and then we continue. Srila Prabhupada, if you see how Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON, Prabhupada didn't spoon feed his devotees. Prabhupada would just send new people like few months in ISKCON, 1 or 2 years in ISKCON. Prabhupada would tell these boys and girls, go to a new country and start. I mean, how do you start an organization without any blueprint? It's not that Prabhupada gave them an SOP, standard operating procedure. This is the first step, this is the second step to start a center. Nothing. Prabhupada just sent them, told them, go, start. And they would ask Prabhupada what we should do. Prabhupada said, just chant Hare Krishna, chant your 16 rounds, follow your sadhana well. Krishna will give you inspiration. So this is the process of bhakti and Brahma, that many times we may be confused. What should I do first? What should I do next? Have faith in Krishna. In this Damodar Leela, we all know this beautiful pastime that when Yashoda was feeding Krishna, so that time there's this milk that has been boiling in the kitchen. So Yashoda is thinking, what should I do first? Should I feed Krishna or should I take care of that milk? That milk is also for service of Krishna. So she had two things to do, and both are related to Krishna. So what she should do first, what she should do next. And Prabhupada quotes the same verse from the Gita, Tesham Satata Yuktanam. In situations like this, where you're confused, you don't know what to do, have faith in Krishna and Krishna will inspire. So Brahmaji was sitting in the lotus and he was contemplating, what should I do? And then he also knew within his heart of heart that the answer to my question lies here only. Because that lotus in which Brahmaji was sitting contained the seeds of the universe. So Prabhupada explains here, the seeds of the universe were already created by Lord Vishnu, by the Lord. Brahmaji had to just disseminate the seeds all over the universe. So therefore, Brahmaji's creation, which is going to start from this point on, is called Visarga. Visarga means secondary creation. But the primary creation is already done by Krishna, which is called Visarga. So in all our lives, when we are given a service to do, we should understand that Krishna has already empowered us to do that service. Ultimately, it's only Krishna who will do it. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, just like Brahmaji had to create this 14 planetary systems, Prabhupada was going to America. And just like, Brahmaji is midst of this ocean, Prabhupada was there in this Jaladut, sitting in the midst of this huge ocean. And Prabhupada was thinking, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to create? But Prabhupada had this faith that, if you follow Krishna's instructions, Krishna will do. So therefore, Prabhupada wrote this poem, my dear Lord, I'm just a puppet in your hand. Ultimately, you are only going to do. What power we have to do any service? Ultimately, Krishna is only going to do through us, provided we surrender unto him and we become an instrument in his hands. Just like the Gita, Lord Krishna shows Arjuna, even before the war started, Lord Krishna showed Arjuna the universal form, Virat Roop. And what did Arjuna see? In that Virat Roop, Arjuna saw Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Duryodhana, all these people entering into the mouth of Virat Roop. So Krishna, before the war, only told Arjuna, they are already killed. And who has killed them? Who's going to kill them? I am going to kill them. So Arjuna is thinking, Are Krishna, if you are going to kill, what am I supposed to do? Krishna said, you just be an instrument. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. You take credit, but ultimately who is going to do is me. So the Lord gives credit to his devotees. The credit of the war of Kurukshetra goes to Arjuna, but Arjuna knows very well that I didn't do anything. It's Krishna who did it through me. Similarly, Brahmaji, he's going to create such an important service. But Brahmaji is very convinced that I am just an instrument. Just like a surgeon does his surgery. No one gives credit to the instrument. What an instrument. No one gives credit to that instrument. The credit goes to the surgeon because he used that instrument. Similarly, in all our lives, if we have to do any great service, whom will Krishna do great service through? One who is in this mood. One who is thinking that I'm actually an instrument. In the Ramayana, you have a similar example. When Sugriv goes to fight with Bali, Lord Ram in essence tells Sugriva, you do the act of fighting, but ultimately killing Vali, I will do. That's it. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction is this: Prithvi te acha yadi nagaradi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already predicted that in every town and village, my chanting of the holy names will go on. So it's definitely going to happen. Whether we do it or not, it's definitely going to happen. If we are intelligent, we will take part in it and get some credit, right, in our line. In this Damodar Leela, it is also something very interesting. I'm giving you all these examples just to tell the point that if we are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna can do great services through us, provided we are that surrendered and we become an instrument in Krishna's hand. So we are seeing the example of Brahmaji, who is an instrument in the hands of Krishna, the example of Arjuna, who is an instrument in the hands of Krishna, the example of Sugriva, who is an instrument in the hands of Krishna, the example of Srila Prabhupada. And in Damodar Leela, we know that when Krishna is tied to this grinding motor, to this ukal, so Krishna sees these two Arjuna trees in front of him, and Krishna drags that grinding motor, and this grinding motor gets stuck between the two trees, and Krishna pushes it a little, and these two trees fall, and they get liberated. Nalukuver and Manigiri get their divine forms. So if we see this pastime, who liberated these two trees? Krishna liberated them, or this grinding motor liberated them? So actually, it is the grinding motor who pushed the trees and the trees fell. But how did that grinding motor do it? Because that grinding motor was tied to Krishna. The credit goes to the grinding motor, but the grinding motor gets credit because the grinding motor tied itself to Krishna and followed Krishna. Similarly, all of us, we may be the most fallen. We may be completely insignificant, most fallen, without any qualifications. But if we tie ourselves to Krishna, his instructions, follow Krishna and the great devotees, Krishna through us can actually help many people in this world. So this is a very, very important point of how Brahmaji is in the right mood, that is actually just throwing the seedlings that Krishna has already made. Another very important point from this verse is Brahmaji was looking for the answer, how to create. But Brahmaji, intuitively he knew that the answer is on that lotus in which he is sitting. Many times we are looking for solutions in life and we run around to find solutions, but the solutions in life are closest to us. The most beautiful example that I can recollect is the example of Sugriva. Very interesting story. When Sugriva, we all know the story that Vali had a misunderstanding with Sugriv. Vali thought that Sugriv wanted to take the kingdom and everything. So Vali started to chase Sugriv around the world to kill him. And Sugriv was just running for his life. He ran across every part of the world. But Vali was so mad and so angry and so envious. He ran around the world to kill Sugriva. Sugriva went around the world, but he understood that there is only one place in the world where Vali can't enter. And that place was Rishimukh Parvat, which is just next to Kishkinda Kshetra. Because Matanga Rishi had given a curse to Vali that if he enters 10 miles within that radius, he will die. So Sugriva was looking for a solution in his life, running around the world, but he forgot that the solution was right in his own doorstep. Similarly, all of us, we are looking for solutions everywhere, but the solutions are already there in our scriptures, very close to us. So Brahmaji, in this way, he understood that everything is there in this lotus flower, and then he engaged himself in devotional service and started to create. Text 8. Padma kosham tadavishya bhagavat karma chodita ekam vyabankashit urudha trida bhavyam saptadha. Word to word. Padma kosham, the whirl of the lotus. Tada, then. Avishya, entering into. Bhagavat, by the Supreme Person of Godhead. Karma, in activities. Choditaha, being encouraged by. Ekam, one. Vyabankashit, divided into. Uruda, great division. Trida, three divisions. Bhavyam, capable of further creation. Dvi saptadha, 14 divisions. Translation. Thus engaged in the service of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Lord Brahma entered into the whirl of the lotus. As it spread all over the universe, he divided into 3 divisions of the worlds and later into 14 divisions. In this way, Brahmaji engaging in devotional service, Bhagavat Karma Chodita, by engaging in the process of devotional service. So Brahmaji was not creating just to, broadcast his own glories. He was creating for the service of the Lord in a very devotional mode. So for that, when Krishna gave him that wisdom, that knowledge, that inspiration, Lord Brahma entered into that whirl of that lotus and entered into that stem, and he divided that stem into 3 divisions, which were again divided into 14 planetary systems. Text 9. We can go to the next verse. एतावान् जीवलोकस्य संस्थाभेद समारत धर्मस्य हि अनिमित्तस्य विपाक परमेस्ति असो. Etavan, up to this, Jivalokasya, of the planets inhabited by the living entities. Samstha Bedaha, different situations of habitation. Samarataha, performed completely. Dharmasya, of religion, he certainly. Animittasya, of causeless. Vipakaha, mature stage. Paramesti, the highest personality in the universe. Aso, that. Translation. Lord Brahma is the most exalted personality in the universe because of his causeless devotional service unto the Lord in mature transcendental knowledge. He therefore created all the 14 planetary divisions for inhabitations, but different types of living entities. So here it is explained that Brahmaji is Paramesti. Paramesti means the most exalted, highest personality in the universe. Why? Because of his causeless devotional service. Dharmasya hi animittasya, because he completely performed dharma. And dharma, the understanding of dharma is given in the scriptures. Savai pumsa paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshaje ahetuki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. There may be different understandings of dharma. So what kind of dharma Brahmaji performed here? Pure devotional service. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana karma adi anamritam anukule krishnanu shilanam bhaktiruttama. This kind of pure devotional service is the highest dharma. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Krishna in the Gita explains different kinds of dharma. But then the conclusion of the Gita, Krishna says, give up all dharmas and surrender unto me. That is the highest dharma. So Brahmaji became the most exalted of the universe because of his mature devotional service. And therefore he created these 14 planetary systems for different types of living beings according to their different consciousness. So Brahmaji, and all these great souls, when Brahmaji is creating this universe, he is doing it in a mood of compassion. Many times in the purports, and you will see in the 3rd canto this point repeating again and again. Prabhupada emphasizes this point again and again. This whole creation is made as an opportunity for the living entities so that they can perform devotional service, rectify their wrong consciousness, and go back to Godhead. So when Brahmaji is creating this universe, he's creating only for this, so that people get a chance to go back. So he puts his heart into this process of creation. So Prabhupada explains here, living entities, we are all pratibimb, reflections of the Lord. Right? We are all reflections of Krishna. And every living entity, we acquire some qualities of Krishna. Just like the moon doesn't have light of its own. The moon reflects the light of the sun. And this Bhagavatam explains that the sun reflects the light of Brahma Jyoti. So the moon and the sun ultimately are reflectors, but the light is coming from Krishna. Similarly, in fact, in the canto before, when Narad Muni comes, in the 2nd canto actually, when Narad Muni comes to Brahmaji and is praying to Brahmaji, my dear Brahmaji, you are the supreme, you are the greatest, you are the creator. So Brahmaji gives this example, I am like that stone, Vaidurya stone, right? I am like that stone that reflects light. But the stone, the diamond that reflects light, doesn't have light of its own. It gets light and reflects light, that's all. So Brahmaji says, my dear Narada, it appears that I'm reflecting light, I'm very glorious, I'm very powerful, but my light is coming from God. And Krishna in the 10th chapter of the Gita, Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna explains that anything that we see in this world, anything powerful, anything wonderful, anyone doing great service, ultimately these are all coming from Krishna, because we are all reflectors. We don't have any light of our own. Krishna is doing it through us. So every living entity can reflect light in different proportions, different qualities of Krishna. And Brahmaji is the topmost. Brahmaji has 50 qualities of Krishna, right? Which is the maximum the living entity can have. So therefore, Brahmaji is called Paramesti, the topmost living entity, the most mature. So Brahmaji in this way creates 3 planetary systems: Bhuvarloka, Pataloka, and Swarloka. And Prabhupada explains here, the higher lokas above Swargaloka, Maharlok, Tapalok, Satyalok, they generally don't get devastated or drowned in the water of devastation. Only the lower loks get devastated. So in this way, Brahmaji creates this 14 planetary system. Text 10, which is our last loka for today. Viduro vacha yatata bahurupasya hareradbhuta karmana kalakyam lakshanam brahma yata varnayana prabho. Now Vidura, Maitreya Rishi has briefly answered Vidura, but Vidura is so eager. His questions don't end only. He has like so many questions to ask in relation to Krishna. And you see, these pure devotees, they are like a child. A child, if you observe a child with so much freshness, a flower, any small thing, the child is like, it's such a wonder for the child. So pure devotee is like this. So Vidura, when Vidura is asking these questions, so it's not that Vidura doesn't know these answers. He knows these answers. He's a great soul. He knows all these things. But Vidura is asking these questions with such innocence, as if he doesn't know anything. When Sanatan Goswami comes in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sanatan Goswami is a great Pandita. He's a scholar in Sanskrit scriptures. In Ramakeli, he would give pravachans. But when he came in front of Mahaprabhu in Varanasi, he goes and tells Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, people call me a Pandita, but I'm actually a fool. You please tell me who I am, what is my role, who is Krishna, what is our connection with Krishna, with such innocence, as a blank slate. So this is the mood in which you actually go to the spiritual master. Otherwise, in the process of bhakti, it's not that we hear too many new things. It's not that what's new today, what is the new Krishna Leela today. It's the same Krishna Leela. Subject matter may not be new, but if there is newness in your vision, if you are actually, if you have that kind of innocence and purity, then actually every small thing will look very wonderful. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Jagannath Puri, he would go to Gadadhar Pandit and he would hear Bhagavatam. And Gadadhar Pandit would tell him stories of Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj. For all of us, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj story, we know it's the same storyline. But Mahaprabhu would hear it 100 times at a stretch. One after another, he would hear it. So eager. So in bhakti, one very important aspect to progress in bhakti is to consider ourselves new. If we consider ourselves senior and old, the newness in bhakti disappears. We all can recollect the day when we came new in process of Krishna consciousness. Everything was so wonderful. I still remember the first time I went to Mayapur many years ago. The first time I saw Radha Madhav, it was such a sight. Because in those days, there were no pictures, there was no WhatsApp, internet and all that. Just seeing that darshan was like out of the world. But after some time, we get used to it. The same darshan of Radha Madhav, we feel that it's the same thing, right? But it's very important that we keep that freshness and innocence on. So Vidura is asking Maitreya Rishi, we'll read the word to word. Vidura Uvacha, Vidura said, Yata as Ata you have said, Bahurupasya, having varieties of form, Arehe of the Lord, Adbhuta wonderful, Karmanaha of the actor, Kala type, Akyam of the name, Lakshanam symptoms, Brahman no learned Brahmana, Yata as it is, Varnaya, please describe Naha unto us, Prabho, O Lord. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O my Lord, O greatly learned sage, kindly describe eternal time, which is another form of the Supreme Lord, the wonderful actor. What are the symptoms of eternal time? Please describe them to us in detail. So now Vidura is asking the next question. My dear Lord, Yatatha Bahurupasya. You have already said the Lord has many forms. And one of the form of the Lord is Kala, the form of Kala. Harer Arbhuta Karmana. And in this form of Kala, Krishna is the wonderful actor. Krishna does so many wonderful things through the process of Kala. So please let me know. Please describe the symptoms of Kala and describe this time in detail. So Krishna, when Krishna shows his universal form to Arjuna, Arjuna is asking Krishna, "My dear Krishna, who are you?" He knew Krishna, but the universal form was very ghastly for Arjuna to see. So that time Krishna tells, "Kalosmi Bharata Shraba." My dear Arjuna, I am Kala. And what does Kala do? Kal, consumes people, dissolves. So therefore, Prabhupada explains in the purport here, controlling time has different dimensions. And ultimately, time through its different calculations, which will come in this chapter a little. So ahead, the next set of verses explain 9 different types of creation. And the next chapter explains this question, answer to this question, the different dimensions or calculations of time. So Kala begins with atomic dissolution, the time that takes to dissolve one atom, to universal dissolution, the time that takes to dissolve the entire universe, when all the universes enter into the body of Mahavishnu. And then there is time for annihilation of the human body, 100 years. Then there's time for the annihilation of the universal bodies, which is like billions of years. But ultimately, the symptom of Kala is dissolution. Creation, maintenance, and resolution. So in this material world, Kala is something that is continuously on. So therefore, as devotees, it's very important. Why is Vidura asking this question? Because as devotees, it's very important that we be conscious of time. Being very conscious of time is very, very important. Avyartha kalatvam, not to waste time. Because time is an energy of Krishna. And this energy of Krishna is given by Krishna for a specific period, especially in this human form of life, so that we can actually use this time in order to go to a place where there is no time. Spiritual world is defined as a place where there is no time. I mean, we can't even imagine it. Because for us, being in a place, world where we are bound by this factor of time, we can't imagine a place where there's no past, present, and future. Eternal, right? Where there's no time. So therefore, spiritual world is called a place where you can feel time by its absence. There's no time here only. So therefore, Krishna tells in the Gita, "Natat bhasyate shuryo na shashanko na pavaka yadgatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama." In this world, how is time calculated? By the rotation of the sun. The sun keeps evolving and the time is calculated. Spiritual world, there's no sun only. How will you calculate? All clocks are in relation with the sun. Spiritual world has no time. So therefore, being in the material world, we have somehow fallen in this material world. So it's important for us that we understand this value of time. We respect time and practice the process of bhakti so that we can go back. So there's one Chinese saying, which is a very beautiful saying. It says that at the end of a chess game, both the king and the pawn go in the same box. So life, someone may be a king, someone may be a soldier, ultimately. But at the end, everyone is squared off. Everyone ends in the same place. So ultimate victory is by time only. So therefore, time is like the greatest gambler. Ultimate game is by time. So therefore, being conscious of time is very important. We find history. What is history basically? And in history, whatever the history is basically names of people who have come and gone. That's it. What do we study in history? This is what we study. What this person did, what that person did. But who is he now? Just write a name in history. The great, very powerful motivational speaker, Peter Burbash. I don't know whether you have heard of him. Peter Burbash he met Srila Prabhupada way back in the 1970s. Very powerful, very successful tennis player. Became a motivational speaker. Very dear devotee. Prabhupada loved him and all the devotees really love him. So he's written a book called Becoming the Master of Your Dash. So what does dash refers to? You see, life, we may live life, but ultimately when someone passes away, what is written? What is written is his birth of the year in which he's born, the birth year, dash death year. That means the entire life of this person is only that little dash in between. That's it. That's the only life that we have. So life is very temporary. Nishwase nahi vishwasa kadarudo bhavishyati kirtaniya mato bhalyat harer namaiva kevalam. Shivashtakam says there is no guarantee when our last moment is going to come. Yesterday I was giving a program in someone's house. 1 year ago, this Mataji's husband passed away, professor in a very big college here. And he was just sitting, just talking, 50-year-old person, just sitting and talking casually. Suddenly, heart stroke and he passed away. So when that last moment has come, there is no guarantee. It's going to come suddenly. We know death will come. When death comes by, it hits very sudden. Radhanath Swami Maharaj gives this story in his book Journey Home. One time he was in Prayag, Allahabad, sitting next to the Sangam, the bank of Yamuna, Ganga, Saraswati, and just meditating, looking at Ganga, trying to learn his lessons. I'll tell you one lesson that he learned from the Ganga. So as he was sitting here, he saw one hawk, one eagle. It came down slowly, lowered itself, and suddenly plunged into the water. And there was some fight that went on, some skirmish, and this eagle took in its claws a fish and flew away. So Maharaj, this is a very small incident, but Maharaj gives like a very deep story, a deep lesson of it. So Maharaj says that this fish, imagine, put yourself in the shoes of this fish, in the body of this fish. This fish was living its day as normal, going about with his fishly activities, enjoying, the waters and family members, eating this, that. The fish didn't even get a clue that this hawk is going to descend and pull him and it's going to go. The fish didn't even know it's going to be the last day. That's it. Suddenly it came. So Maharaj similarly explains that life is such that death can strike, calamities can strike at any moment. So devotee means, like Vidura is asking, being conscious of time and being prepared, being ready for this. Just like sometimes in schools you have surprise test. So death and calamities are like surprise test. They are not going to give us notice. It's going to come suddenly. So therefore this verse from the Kevalashtakam says, Nishwase nahi vishwasa kadarudo bhavishyati kirtaniya mato balyad harer namaiva kevalam. When death is going to come, there's no guarantee. Therefore, from the beginning, you have to get, serious in this process. So one of the best ways to live life is to think that probably today is going to be our last day. If you live life like this, one day actually it will be true. Right? So any day could be a last day. So we can live life like this. Today is my last day. Let me do my best in today's day. And if you live life every day like this, very conscious of time now, that's the most intelligent thing to do. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in a similar way, he explains in his song, Jivan anitya janah sar, tahe nana vida vipada bhar, nama ashraya kari jatane tumi, takah apana kaji. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jivan anitya janah sar. In life, being in this material world now, one thing we have to understand. The essence of being in this material world, Jivana anitya. Life is temporary. The only thing permanent in this world is impermanence. Life is temporary. Jivana anitya janah sar, tahe nana vida vipadapar. Life is not only temporary, it's filled with so many problems. So therefore, what we should do, Naam ashraya kari jatanne tumi. We have to endeavor to take shelter of Krishna. Because Krishna is that only truth. Satyam, Satyam, Punas Satyam, Harer Namaiva Kevalam. So if we take shelter of Krishna, then we can remain unaffected. So this story of Radhanath Maharaj, this fish swimming in that river and this hawk taking it, Maharaj gives another understanding. If this fish was swimming a little deeper in the water, probably the hawk wouldn't have taken it. Similarly, the lesson is, if you want to escape suffering, escape death, escape time, it's very important that we go deeper into spirituality, deeper into bhakti, deeper into chanting, more absorbed in Krishna Gata. Only through this process, we can overcome time. Otherwise, not possible. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, when he had 7 days notice, Parikshit was not doing all the superficial solutions. What should I do? Parikshit dove deeper into Bhagavatam Katha. And by the process of Bhagavatam, one can actually overcome time. In fact, it explains that when Bhagavatam Katha is going on, I don't know whether you all know this. It explains that when Bhagavatam Katha is going on now, Yamraji comes and sits and hears. There is an asan kept for Yamraji. So Yamraj comes and sits and hears. So when the Katha is going on, Yamaraj is coming and sitting and hearing. How will Yamaraj and Yamdutas touch you? So therefore, this opportunity that we have, and this forum that you all have created of discussing Bhagavatam together, maybe just reading from Srila Prabhupada's books, but Prabhupada's books are so deep. Prabhupada has put, his heart and soul into these purports, every line, every word. So when we understand and read this with this sense of urgency, then, we can be ready for this exam of death, and we can actually go to that place, that eternal place where the eternal pastimes of Krishna goes on. So I was just hearing a class of Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada explains what is the process of bhakti. The process of bhakti is eternal dharma, sanatan dharma. Jivera swarupoi krishtere nityadas. So when we engage in bhakti, the Atma, which is sanatan, performs the process of bhakti, which is sanatan, and we are worshipping that sanatan God, Krishna, who is eternal. And then one day we will attain that sanatan world, that spiritual world. And after attaining there, the sanatan Atma with the sanatan God will be eternally performing sanatan leelas, eternal pastimes. And that's the whole understanding of the process of bhakti and why Krishna comes and does all these pastimes and why we have Gita and Bhagavatam. So thank you all very much for your attentive hearing and giving me this opportunity to speak something. I hope that I have served you all in some way, and I hope that all of you all will bless me also, that I can follow what I'm speaking. Hare Krishna.
Hare Hari Bol. Thanks so much, Prabhu, for a very clear and excellent explanation with many examples, and especially examples from the Damodar Leela, which we actually hear and speak almost every day in this Damodar month, but cannot understand the way you explained, the way you have given us the examples. So very thanks for this, Prabhu. We learned a lot of valuable information today and valuable lessons today in this session. And the most valuable piece of learning for me was that solution is there in our doorstep, but we are looking out for it. So with this Sugriv example, very nice, Prabhu. And thank you so much, Prabhu. You have honored us with your presence in this ICF forum. We are really grateful to you. Looking forward to hearing from you in this forum. And if you allow, Prabhu, can we ask devotees to ask some questions? If it, okay, Prabhu. So Hare Krishna to all the devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Krishnamurti Prabhu, you want to ask?
Little bit.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Sure.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I am grateful to you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, your kind self has explained regarding time, dash, life, temporary, deeper. Really amazing to hear. I think we must not forget these words. Definitely we will be elevated. I am very, very grateful to you, Prabhuji. So definitely we will be, I myself think of that and I will follow the instructions, what you have given. I am grateful to you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I am also grateful to you. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thank you, Krishnamurti Prabhu. Anyone, Suma Mataji, you want to ask?
Yes, Mataji, Dandot Pranams.
Yeah,
Hare
please.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranams to you. Prabhuji, as we know when we are going to die, so till the time we take Diksha from a Guru, so can we take the Diksha on a mental level, Prabhuji? Because
yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandot.
Definitely. I'll tell you one interesting pastime.
Thank you.
Connected to this question. When there's a story from the life of Ramanujacharya. So Ramanujacharya, Lord Varadraj actually told him that you should take initiation from Mahapurna, from the disciples of Yamunacharya. So Ramanujacharya was running towards from Kanchipuram to Srirangam to take initiation from Mahapurna. So that time even the disciples of Yamunacharya, by this time Yamunacharya had left this world, so they all told Mahapurna, you please go to Kanchipuram and give Ramanuja Diksha. So both of them were coming to meet each other. They met in between in a particular village. And Ramanuja that time told Mahapurna, please give me Diksha. Mahapurna told him, let's go to Kanchipuram, there I'll give you. So Ramanujacharya said, no, please give me here only. I don't know when death will come, or I even don't know when my mind is going to change. So please give me Diksha at this point only. So right at that spot, they did a yajna, Diksha was given. So definitely Diksha is an urgency. So we may not be able to get Diksha because it happens when the Guru's wish is there. But definitely in our heart of heart, we should definitely accept.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. We would like to have another class like this. I have just a short question, Prabhuji. Do you give online classes for students abroad, overseas, US and all that? For students?
Yeah, we can. So basically, we can definitely do if you have any other session. I keep doing a lot of classes. My classes, I have a YouTube channel of my own. So every day, like I have like 1 or 2 classes that I just live stream. But other than that, like on invites, like this group has invited me. So sometimes some other group from India, US, they invite me, I give. So if there is any other service that I can do, okay, we can try to work out on it.
Yeah, okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Also, one more short question. It may sound very silly, but you said, no, whenever there's a Bhagavad Sapta, Yamaraj comes. Does it come like a class today? Then also does Yamaraj come and listen?
Yeah, definitely. Wherever Bhagavatam is, Yamaraj is there. Just like wherever Ramayana, Hanuman is there in some form or the other. So these personalities are so eager to hear Krishna Katha that they don't miss opportunities.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Meenakshi Mataji. Yeah, sorry. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
Vidura is actually an avatar of Yamaraj also. If you know the story, Vidura is also Yamaraj himself. So Vidura himself is so eager to hear Krishna Katha.
Yeah, Meenakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for this enlightening session, Prabhuji, with so many practical examples. For me, the takeaway was that we are not supposed to waste time because we should understand the urgency of the time, and time is an energy of Krishna. We try to understand that. And one more was, if we surrender totally to Krishna, then he uses us as instruments to do wonderful things. That was really very great, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Please keep coming. In at least once a month, we would like to hear more from you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
All of you are so sincere. I was seeing so many Matajis making notes. So sincere and for hearing. So I think this has been a very sincere, very attentive group. I would definitely like to come. So probably we can see how often we can do it.
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, from last 1 year, it started on 5th September last year. And since then, all these faces are coming and attending Bhagavatam session from first canto till now. This is the 3rd canto which is going on. So they are very dedicated souls, Prabhu. No doubt about it.
We'll have to continue this dedication till the 12th canto.
Hari Hari Bol. With your blessings, Prabhu. Definitely.
Yes, Prabhuji, with your blessings.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, one Mataji is asking for the YouTube channel link of your this one. If you could please pass on to Narayani Mataji so that we could watch.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'll send it later on WhatsApp, then you all can.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu.
Sure, Prabhu.
Sure. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, shall we end the session, Prabhu? Yeah. With all the devotees, we'll do Damodar Aarti. But yeah, Prabhu. So we will do Vaishnav Pranam Mantra, all of us, and then we will end. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Participants should wait for Damodar Aarti. Prabhu may, yeah, Prabhu can leave. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay. So who will sing today? Sindhu Mataji sang yesterday. Ramakrishna Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. You can sing. And I can't show my altar now today. Can please someone show the picture of Damodar and Yashoda Maya? Please let me know so that I can spotlight.
We will show Mataji.
Anasuya Mataji. Yeah. Perfect, Mataji. Please.
Start, Mataji.
Yeah. Just let her show the picture, Prabhu. Then you may start. Hari bol. Nice altar, Mataji. Okay, yes, Prabhu, please.
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानं यशोधबियोलुकलदवमानं परामृष्टमत्यन्तो धृत्यगोप्याम् यशोधाभियोलुकलधवमानं परामृष्टमत्यन्तो धृत्यगोप्याम् रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्ममृजन्तम् कराम्भोजयुग्मेन शान्ताङ्कनेत्रम् रुदन्तं मुहुर्नेत्रयुग्ममृजन्तम् कराम्भोजयुग्मेन शान्ताङ्कनेत्रम् मुहुश्वासकम्पान्त्रिरेकाङ्ककण्ठा स्थिताग्रेवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम् मुहुश्वासकम्पान्त्रिरेकाङ्ककण्ठा स्थितग्रेव दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमाञ्झान्तमाख्यापयन्तम् इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषानि माञ्झान्तमाख्यापयन्तम् तदीयेषितज्ञेषु भक्तैरिचत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्ति वन्दे तदीयेषितज्ञेषु भक्तैरिचत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्ति वन्दे वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवतिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं परेशादपीह वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षवतिं वा न चान्यं वृणेऽहं वरेशादपीहम् इदं देव पूर्णाद गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्याविरास्तां किमन्यैः इदं देव पूर्णाद गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्याविरास्तां किमन्यैः इदं ते मुकाम्बोजमत्यन्तलीलै रुदन्तं कुन्तलै स्निग्धरक्तै च गोप्याम् इदं ते मुकाम्बोजमत्यन्तलीलै रुदन्तं कुन्तलै स्निग्धरक्तै च गोप्याम् मुहुचुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविरास्तामलं लक्षलाभै मुहुचुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविरास्तामलं लक्षलाभै नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम् नमो देवदामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं भतानु गृहाणि क्षमामाज्ञमे दक्षिदृश्या कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यातिदीनं भतानु गृहाणि क्षमामाज्ञमे दक्षिदृश्या कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्तैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमूर्तैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहोमि स्थिदामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकामे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहोमि स्थिदामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुदाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाद विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमस्ते स्तुधाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायाद विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमो राधिकायै त्वदीयप्रियायै नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम् नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम् यशोधवियोलुकलधवमानं परामृष्टमत्यन्तो धृत्य गोप्या यशोधवियोलुकलधवमानं परामृष्टमत्यन्तो धृत्य गोप्या। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Rama, Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Rama. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Dasi jai, Damodar Ashtakam ki jai, Manande Hari Hari. Thank you, Ramakrishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we can sing tomorrow as well. Tomorrow Sudha Mataji is going to sing. And today we will end the session. Tomorrow again at 9:30, one guest speaker is going to come. So please join in time. And Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Happy
Hare
Damodar.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, very nice.
Mataji.
Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna.
I'm
Thank you,
ending the
Mataji.
session.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare